Hi everyone, welcome to Premier Study. My name is Brian, and today we're going to be looking at how to become CPA eligible. What I'm basically going to be doing is looking at a lot of universities that offer courses designed to help you go from having your bachelor's degree to getting to the number of accounting hours and whatever other requirements that are necessary in order to sit for your CPA exam. So if you didn't know that each state has different rules and regulations or different requirements in order to be eligible, maybe to sit for the exam itself, or you can sit for the exam, but then you have to go and do certain things in order to become certified, credentialed. So let's just say, for example, I'm here at Wiley CPA. It's at efficientlearning.com. So Wiley's, if you didn't know, they do a lot of test prep material, and they put together this nice little interactive map for us. So let's say that I live or I want to work in New Mexico, or maybe you're living abroad and you're thinking, can I get the CPA qualified in New Mexico? Well, it tells you right here. You need a bachelor's degree. There's going to be a requirement of 120 credit hours to sit for the CPA, and 150 credit hours are required to be licensed as a CPA. Now, 30 credit hours must be in accounting courses, and no more than 3 of the 30 may be in business law. So when they say 30 hours, they mean semester hours. If you're used to the quarter system, you need to, transfer that or translate that into semester hours. So they are different. That's one thing you should know. Specifics for required courses are often listed, and they give you a nice link for the state's Board of Accountancy website. So it also tells you what if you're not a resident of New Mexico, or what if you live abroad. It says U.S. citizenship is not required, and New Mexico residency is not required. So minimum age, you have to be 18 years old. There's some fees, breakdown of fees, and these are pretty standard fees, and then you can get the contact information. So like I said, it's different for each state. So once you find out what you need for your particular state, once you decide I want to live here, I want to work here, this is what I'm going to do, then you can get on to the business of choosing a school and picking up those credits. Now, this is no simple task. In fact, I'm going to look at maybe 20 different schools, all kinds of ranges. I mean, really top tier schools, very prestigious schools, but also very expensive, all the way to ones that are very, very, very inexpensive. I put together a list of 7 things I think you need to consider, or you'll probably consider at some point. So for example, online or on campus. Most everything we're going to be looking at in this video is going to be online. I think that's the best for most people, especially if you're already working, maybe as a staff accountant or a related position. You don't want to move across the country or, maybe across the world to get this done. You want to be able to do it nights, weekends, when it's flexible, on holidays, stuff like that. Number 2, what about the GMAT? What about the GRE? Some of these schools, they have waivers. Sometimes it depends upon what your GPA is. Some of them, they say, don't worry about it at all. We're not interested in that. That's not important for us. So that's a big deal because, the GMAT's an amazing exam. It really is. But it's very difficult, and it takes time and money in order to pass it. Now, I haven't seen really high, the numbers that they give on some of these exams or some of these websites. It's not really, really high. It's not like MBA programs. It's just you need to be able to pass it. Other things, prereqs. That's going to be a big deal. We're going to see a lot of these schools, they do want you to have certain prerequisites, and they can be sometimes very short, or they can be very, very long. So that is going to be something you need to figure out. Also, accreditation. You can have the top accreditation. Only 5% of the schools in the world have the AACSB. Most of these will, but not all of them. Is that mattering? Or to you personally, are you thinking about maybe getting a PhD at some point? That might matter. If you're studying abroad, having that recognized qualification, it might help, that accreditation. So number 6, what about GA assistantships? GA, I mean graduate assistantships or research assistantships. These can sometimes save you a lot of money. There's going to be one school in our list where if you want to move to Georgia, you can get everything paid for. All your tuition paid for by working, I believe it's 20 hours a week if my memory serves me right. I'm going to show you the school and you can check it out in your own time. But for 20 hours a week, boom, paid for, done. Other schools, $25,000 discount. So that's pretty big. Finally, at the end, we're going to look at undergraduate certifications. When these schools talk about, or when these states talk about, you need certain number of accounting hours. Doesn't have to be graduate level. Doesn't have to be for a master's degree. You could just get undergraduate level courses and those still count. And so that's one interesting thing to talk about. So how about we jump in and we start looking at some of the schools. Okay, so first one we'll look at is Suffolk University. It's in Boston, Massachusetts. And you can see this is the Master of Science in Accounting. Really great people. Very, very helpful, very friendly. They followed up. They're really great. And you can email off for this brochure, but I just thought I'd show you some of the ins and outs real quick while I have it. Okay, so looking at the brochure, it's going to depend upon what your undergraduate was in. In order to finish, you'll need 31 credit hours if you're an accounting major, okay, previously undergrad level. If you only study business but not accounting, 37. For everyone else, 49 credits. Now, the thing is, we're looking at about $1,171 per credit hour, meaning that out the door it's about $36,000 to $57,000. It is online, so that's nice. They also give 3 areas of specialization. You can do forensic accounting, business intelligence, or corporate finance. Also, you don't need the GMAT. There's no GMAT required. Additionally, they have a master's of taxation. So I've seen a lot of jobs. If you look at the big 4 accounting firms, they have all these jobs for tax. And we know how much money that saves corporations to be able to find tax shelters, tax loopholes, defer that, whatever. A lot of money, a lot of jobs. So you want to double check though. I'm not sure if that program is online or if it's on campus there in Boston. But really great people. Enjoyed speaking with them. So the next one we're going to be looking at is Auburn University. It's the Master of Accountancy online. You can see some of their admission requirements here. You need a bachelor's degree. And they talk about the GMAT requirements, GPA, things of this nature. And one of the things with this program, it's not all that expensive. It's 30 credits long, and it's $900 a credit, which is about average, so $27,000. But these prerequisites are a little bit heavier than normal. It just depends. If you have them, then you got them, and it's no problem. If you don't, and you're trying to scrape together some kind of plan in order to get this done, this is going to slow you down a lot, getting these prereqs for this particular program. Micro, macro, economics, principles of financial accounting, stats, business law, principles of management, marketing, principles of finance. Then you also have the accounting foundation. So all this is 2, 3, 4. So 7 more courses. I mean, this is a lot, to be able to try to do all these courses before even getting started in the master's. You're getting into talking just a lot of credits. GMAT applicants, it gives you the rundown as far as how you can get that waived. You have to have a certain GPA. There's a lot of details, as it always is with these schools. But next one we're going to be looking at here is the University of Michigan. So one of the reasons I picked this, it's one of the only ones on the list that's not an online program, so you should know that. This is this is an on-campus program. But look, University of Michigan, if you're not familiar with their MBA program, how strong they are as a public university, they run up there with all the top schools. Maybe not top 10, pretty close. Top 20. So like NYU, Northwestern, just a lot of really great schools. Price tag on their MBA full-time, somewhere around $140,000, I believe, at this point. So this program is, it's going to put you in touch with those types of professors, those types of people, those types of networking opportunities. You're always going to be able to have that on your resume coming out of school to say, hey, I have a master's in accountancy from Ross. And people are going to say, oh, wow, Really, it's a big time school. So it just depends on how you value that and what you think that's going to be worth in your particular situation, if the cost is going to be worth the benefit. But it says 8-month intensive degree program for college graduates. It prepares you for the CPA. And they obviously have really good relationships with these corporations as well as others. And so that's going to be one of the big things. Here's the price tag on it. As far as late 2019, they were looking for $49,000 in state, $54,000 out of state. It's a 1-year program, I believe. See, it's a little tricky. They say that the prices I just quoted you are per year, but it looks a little bit like the program could last 4 semesters, so like 1.3 years or something like that. So you want to look into that because that push it up around $70,000 a year if that's true. They do have a graduate assistantship, but it requires a special application in order to get it. I'm sure it's very competitive, but hey, could be very, very good, especially if you've already taken the GMAT. I'm almost positive they require GMAT. And so if you have a high GMAT score and, maybe you didn't get into the MBA program you wanted or whatever your story is, you just test well, could be good. How about University of North Carolina? Another great school, really strong business program, the Keenan Flagler Business School. Very, very good. If you look at their national rankings year after year after year, global rankings even for their MBA program, very good. And here they are boasting #1 online Masters of Accounting degree. #1. So here's what it is. 36 to 48 credits, depending on your previous coursework. There are GMAT or GRE waiver exemptions if you're qualified. It starts 4 times a year, which that's really nice. Let me tell you a couple more things about it. The price tag, so per course or per credit, I should say, it's about $1,500. So if you do the online, it's going to be about $52,000, which is pretty expensive. You can also do it on campus. If you do it on campus, it's $67,000, but for on-campus applicants only, you can get some sort of fellowship, and they say that often students receive somewhere up to maxed out, but close to $25,000. So that would break it down. If you got the $25,000 off the 67, be $42,000, right? Not bad, not bad. We're going to see that there's a lot of schools that are going to come in at like $32,000. So, I mean, again, really, really good school. Something to consider, something worth looking at if you're willing to spend a little bit more. This is Southern Utah University. They have the top accreditation. All the schools before this also have the AACSB. Like I said, about 5% of universities worldwide have this accreditation. So it's very nice. Some things about this. They have also like a very big foundation work piece that you need to do. So 21 credits undergrad business, 21 credit undergrad accounting. It's 42 credits. So if you're, like 40, 20, 30 credits short, that's going to be a lot of legwork before getting into a program. If that's your story, I think it's pretty clear you want to choose something else. But if you already have all that done, the price point on this could be really good. I don't have it in front of you, but I think it's pretty inexpensive, maybe like high 20s for everything. So pretty good. You'll see them advertise a lot. And so they caught my eye. That's one thing. University of Connecticut. Online, Masters of Accounting again. Here you'll see their 6 or 7 or 8 prereqs that you need to do. But one thing they boast about being like number 9 best accounting online program, Masters of Accounting online program. So how much does it cost? About $875 a credit hour. 30 credits for the program brings it in about $27,000. And so 3 start times per year. If you like the name, if that works for you, that's pretty good. That's a pretty average. I mean, well, they say they're very good, so I shouldn't say average. But on the price point, probably mid-range on the price point. Rutgers is interesting. I grabbed them because they have a lot of things. It seems to be geared toward, they've decided, we want to prepare people to work in government. And you can see that right here, Master of Accountancy in Government, or Governmental Accounting, and it's online. Next to application deadline, August 1st. So you want to check about how often they start. It's $9.95 a credit hour, and so you're thinking probably it's going to be around $30,000, a little bit more just in tuition. But hey, pretty good school. So if you like the government angle, check that out. Now this is one of the first schools that isn't that AACSB. This is the ACBSP. And it's still a good accreditation. It's still nationally recognized, but it's not as good as the one that we've seen with the other schools. So if that's a big deal for you, if you think that's going to matter for whatever reason, you're thinking about maybe doing a PhD at some point or something like that, that's the only time I could see it mattering. It's not going to matter for when you go and you sit for the CPA. As long as it's accredited by a regional or a national board, you're going to be fine. So you can see there's all this fine print. It's going to be somewhere around 30 to 36 credit hours, depending upon your situation, your prior coursework. The nice thing about it is that the price point, it's only $500 a credit hour. So even if you do 36 credits, it's only $18,000. So that's about a $10,000 saving compared to some of the other programs we were just looking at. Also, you'll see George Mason has a program that they put out a lot. They do a lot of advertising for it. It's about $2,000 a credit, so a little expensive. What else? We have the University of Scranton. It's a Jesuit university, so if you are Catholic or Christian, that might be a bonus for you. You'll see here they have these different areas that you can focus in, like forensic accounting, accounting analytics, or just a general option that helps you prepare for the CPA. Maybe you don't want the CPA. Maybe some of you are interested in just getting the master's and going straight to work. That could be fine too. But I would encourage you to look at some of the data upon the greater salaries that CPAs make compared to non-credentialed accountants. It's pretty significant, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me or off the top of my head, but I've seen them before. It's pretty significant. So Scranton, it does have the top accreditation. It's a 30 credit hour program. It is online. It's about $900 a credit hour, so it's about $27,000. It's going to be very similar to this next program we're going to look at, which is also $27,000, University of Illinois. You can see here they want the GPA 3.0 or higher. They have GMAT or GRE scores are required, but they may be waived if you have 3 years of full-time relevant professional experience. So if you have that could help. Otherwise, get ready to take one of those tests. It's 32 credit hours, and it is $850 per credit. So like I said, $27,000. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is the University of Missouri. online program, Masters of Accounting, and you can see you need 2 letters of recommendation, GMAT or the GRE, resume. So a little bit of legwork. Just depends upon how many schools you want to apply to. You can send in your unofficial transcripts. These are the requirements: 4 years, competitive GMAT or GRE, whatever that means. If you haven't taken the GMAT, the top score is 800 now. What to say here? So they have these prerequisites that you have to do: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a lot if you don't have them. Like I said, some of these programs, they don't require all these prereqs, so that could be a good deal. Now, this is a really interesting school, maybe one that you haven't heard of. It doesn't have a lot of prestige, but Georgia Southern University, it's in Georgia, and why I bring it up is they have a online program, but they also have an on-campus program. And the unique thing about them is that if you get a graduate assistantship with them, and I think you have to apply in order to get it, it may be automatic consideration for that, but if you get that, they're going to give you full tuition waiver. So 100% of your tuition is going to be waived in exchange for your work as a graduate assistant. Because of all that graduate work, it is going to be a 2-year program. You can do it online or on campus, but if you do it online and you want to work as a GA, you have to be right there in the area so that you can meet with professors. So you can still do your coursework at night or whatever. I don't know what the programs or what the economy or the business environment is, how many people are working in Statesboro, Savannah, I know that's pretty good. Hinesville, I don't know. And I'm not sure which of those cities their accounting building is in. But, I mean, hey, this was the only program I saw that was 100% free under certain terms. And so I thought I would add it in. Now, here's another low-cost one coming up. Not this one. It'll be the one after. So this is the University of Texas A&M Commerce. It's not the Aggies, okay? It's a totally different school altogether. They just share the name, Ag and Management Commerce. So don't get confused about that. But you can see here, 2 years, 36 credits. I think it has the top accreditation. There's 4 foundation courses that you need to take. It's 30 graduate credits. So all total, you end up doing 42 credits with them. And you're going to have to give them your email address to get more information like the cost of tuition. But you do see their accreditation here. And, it's not bad. It's online. They give you some stats about median salaries. This is pretty interesting. Tax managers, again, a lot of money in tax. Keeping it moving. This is one really interesting one. Emporia State University. This is in Kansas. They have the top accreditation. And the really interesting thing about this is, look at this per credit cost, $350. The lowest we've seen at this point is $500, and most schools have been somewhere in the $900 range. At $350 per credit, total price, $10,500. So this is going to be, if you're just going to pay the full price and you don't get any scholarship or anything, this is going to be, I think, the cheapest one on my list. So $10,500 is really, really good for a master's in accounting. There are 5 prereqs that you need before coming into it, and so you can take those, I think, through their undergraduate program online or at your local community college, or maybe you already have those, so that'd be really great. But for a top accreditation for a little bit over $10,000, I definitely had to put that one in the list. A couple more. Florida Atlantic. They have the top accreditation. They start 3 times a year. Tuition was a little bit hard to find. You're going to have to email off to get that. But I think it was on one of the lists of some other blogs where people rank the top schools. Finally, the last one is Boise State University. You can see some of the prereqs that you need to have here. But once you get into the program, it looks like I have 6 prereqs. But once you're into the program, it's 30 credits after that at $500 a credit. So it's just at $15,000, and not bad, I mean, maybe not as good as the Emporia State one, but maybe with a little bit extra digging, you can find out, maybe there is some advantage to going Boise State. So I'm just going to look at really quickly at this table, this Excel sheet that I put together. It has a lot of the same information that we just looked at, but since I jumped really quick through some of those websites, I'm just going to scroll through this really quickly. I'm not going to read it all for you guys, but you can see there's university, the accreditation, some deadline information may or not be there, prereqs, prices, is it online or not, and then some other notes about, maybe deadlines or whatever. So University of Michigan, I'll just go slow so you can see there. Prereqs. Here's a school, UNC, no prereqs. That's one nice thing about them. Very expensive, but no prereqs. You can get it done in a year. You can do it online or on campus. And hey, it has a great name. UMKC, this is a small school in Kansas City, about $24,000 on campus only. So that was kind of for me, probably not so good for you guys. Here's Uconn, University of Connecticut, again, $27,000, middle of the road. 3 times a year it starts. It says it's top 5 ranked. for online programs. Scranton, University of Scranton. You can see the prereqs, price tag. There you go. University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana, $27,000 again. This is a really interesting one where you do your prereqs on Coursera. It's 3 courses on Coursera, and you can knock those out in 7 days. I looked it up. I was like, wow, this is very fast, very quick way if you don't have any of those prereqs, and maybe you don't want to pay the price tag to go to North Carolina, and you're thinking, man, I don't want to sit through 15 hours or 12 hours, 6, 7, 8 courses. Well, boom, there you go. You could do this Coursera thing, get it done, spring break or whatever. Very interesting. Missouri, again, prereqs, about $32,000. It is online. Georgia Southern, like we talked about, no price, 0 price tag, and they don't have any prereqs. So, but you gotta be willing to move to Georgia. It's not that it's not a top school. Let's just be honest. But maybe some people who really cares. Emporia State, we talked about this. Online. Boise State, we talked about that. You can see there. One thing I thought that was interesting, if you go to your local community college, if you're an in-state resident like where I'm from, credits were like $98, $95, $98 a credit. So we'll call it $100, 30 credits. You could whole thing done out the door, $3,000. It's very inexpensive if you just want to go sit in the classroom. If you can, maybe if you're between jobs or whatever, you work nights or I don't know, you're sitting on a bunch of money already and it's you don't need to work. Another program doing undergraduate pricing. You could do it a couple different ways. And then these are some of the schools that I got rid of. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys I thought was really interesting is, like I said before, I've said it a number of times, you don't have to have master's level or you don't have to have graduate courses in order to qualify for the CPA. They don't care. They just say, we want these courses, this number of courses, and it can be either level, undergraduate or graduate. So a lot of schools have recognized this, especially some schools in California, Northwestern, and others. And they've said, you know what? We see that people want the CPA. We see that they got to get up to those 150 total college hours. We see that they're going to need somewhere between 24 and 30 hours of accounting. So, hey, we do education, no problem. We'll put together a program right for them. For example, University of California, San Diego. These top 9 courses are the standard, and then you can pick up some extras. So the 9 courses, they're going to equal, they use a quarter system, but they're going to equal 24 semester hours for these top 9 right here. You see them. Elementary 1 and 2, accounting theory, 1 and 2, cost, federal personal income tax, taxation of the business entity, advanced accounting theory, and auditing. You take those 9, that equals 24. You need a couple more? Well, you can get any of these. Some of them are in class only, but some of them are online. So you can do real estate, you can do fraud, you can do accounting ethics, and get up to that 30 if you need 30. It's a very similar program. You see San Bernardino. And this one's a little weird. They don't have the greatest website, but check them out because this is maybe the fastest way to get it done. It costs $10,000. It's $300 per unit times 36 quarter units, equaling 24 semester units or semester hours. The way it works is you basically take 2 courses every session. They're very short sessions. Excuse me. And you can get the whole thing finished in 6 months. So it goes very fast. What about UC Berkeley? Maybe some people would like to have UC Berkeley on their resume. Not bad. Good school, right? So $10,000 is 24 semester credits. Time to completion, they say about 24 months. These are the courses they offer online. Everything up here is online. Some of these electives are either classroom only, you can see here in the red, or online as well. Similar program, UC Davis. I really like this one because look at the price point of $8,000. Very inexpensive, very, very inexpensive. And basically the way it works is there's the first certification for this price, about $3,500, and then there's a second one they call a specialized one. It's 5 courses and it's about $4,500. So for both, it's about $8,000, like I said. And here you can see this is the first 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 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 boom. And then here you can see that they give you, if you search around on their website, when they're offered. So they're not offered all the time. The scheduling can be a little bit problematic, but the price is really great. Then once you finish this, you can go over and get the second one, 5 more courses, 1 for government and accounting, you got auditing, and you have tax, which those are 2 of the sections on the CPA, tax and accounting. So those are important. But again, you see, they're not always offered all the time. They're only offered certain times of the year, so you got to be really good with your calendar. If you miss one, it could really set you back, or you're going to have to scramble and figure something else out. But I really liked it. We saw on the Uconn website, University of Connecticut, that they had an undergraduate certification. It's only 12 hours. So that doesn't really help us. For most of us, 12 hours isn't going to be enough. Northwestern, they have a CPA program certification. 12 courses. They're $2,000 per course, so it's about $24,000. But cheaper than some of those master's programs. It's from Northwestern. a very well-respected program, very well-respected school. It's all online, and you can see exactly the list of classes that you're going to be taking with them. Pretty cool. Not bad. I thought it was a good option. You see here, my dad really liked it. So, University of Virginia, 13,000, 20 months to complete. Harvard had one for 11,000. It was 4 courses. So again, it's not really going to be enough. At least it wasn't going to be enough for me. LSU, 15 credits only. So that's really something I think is interesting. If you want to give me an email, you can. You can email me at standingstrongformarriages@gmail.com. I'd be happy to send this Excel sheet to you. Got a lot of other information on like MBA programs, Doctor of Business Administration programs, Master of Finance programs. So I think it's really interesting, to see just what all is out there. But for this accounting stuff, really, really, really interesting. I ended up doing this one with University of San Diego. I thought it was really, really good. It had a lot of stuff I liked. There was the electives. I like the real estate stuff. So anyways, and I like that auditing. A lot of them don't have auditing, and I thought that was going to be a big advantage because like I said, it is part of the CPA exam. Anyway, price point is pretty good too. I don't know why I don't have it on here, but it's about $250. It's about $700 a course. So 7 times 9, you can do the math, about 6,300. Then you do a couple electives, maybe you're up around 8,000. But lower than a lot of these, 10. We got one here for 8, one for 20 down here, and then you remember all the stuff that we saw on the master's level. So that was what I decided to do. You can do whatever you like. I hope it helps you guys. Keep pressing forward. We saw the stock market fall late March here at kind of records that we haven't seen since the crash in '87. So you can't be in a bull market forever. That's just the way economies go. Don't freak out, but I'm trying to encourage everyone to use this to your advantage. If you're going to have some time, maybe where schools are out, or, they cancel classes, or, some people may get laid off. That's very reasonable to think that could happen. So, what are you going to do with your time? Are you going to sit around and watch Netflix until, you can't see straight? Are you going to play video games? No, don't do that stuff. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. Go out and get some of these things. If you haven't checked out other things on my channel, maybe you're thinking, well, this is too much. The CPA stuff is too much. There's other certifications. I do one on the CMA, the Certified Managerial Accountant. I'm going to be doing one on the Certified Internal Auditor. There's a lot of different certifications that you can get. Fraud examiner, all kinds of stuff that help companies either like meet regulations, work toward being having audited financial statements, all kinds of stuff like this. So thanks for stopping by. I really hope it helps save you some time. It helps you think about all the different options, the variety of options, and I'll just wrap it up there. Thanks. Bye.